It's free. So plan B is do everything for free, and when you try to raise venture capital, ideally you would show up with a business that's already scaling. And you would go to the venture capitalist, and instead of saying, please give me money so that we can build our product, you'll say, please give me money because we need to hire more salespeople because we have so many sales inquiries, we cannot handle it. And furthermore, we're adding so many people as customers, and we're having so many page views that we need to scale our business. We're having trouble scaling because it is too popular. That is a venture capitalist's best case dream scenario. Okay, so use no money and get to that point. The eighth piece of advice I have for you is that contrary to what you may hear about strategic marketing and strategic positioning and potential and all this kind of stuff, basically sales fixes everything. As long as you're selling stuff, you're in the game. As soon as you're not selling stuff, you're no longer in the game. Which leads me to point 9, which is very related to this. Point 9 is 90% of the partnerships are 90% bullshit. Partnership is a word that you use. You didn't hear that, right? This is my daughter. Partnership is a word that you use when you're describing a relationship where neither of you will make money. That's what a partnership is. If you want a very good test for a partnership, is after the partnership, did you have to boot Excel and reforecast your results? Because the partnership either created more sales or reduced costs. Most times when you announce a partnership, you don't boot Excel. That's the problem with partnerships. If a partnership doesn't change your Excel spreadsheet, it's not a partnership. It doesn't really work. And the 10th thing, and probably the most important, as a tech entrepreneur, you're going to have to learn to deal with bozos. And these bozos are naysayers. They're going to tell you it can't be done, it shouldn't be done, it isn't necessary. You know, how can you possibly compete against Apple, Google, Cisco, Yahoo, Twitter, Facebook? How can you compete against those entrenched companies? There are two kinds of bozos in the world. One bozo is slovenly, disgusting, pocket protectors, dandruff, overweight, Japanese watch, rusty car. Okay, so you look at that person and you say, wow, you're a loser. Why would I listen to you? Because only a loser would listen to a loser. That's not the dangerous bozo. The dangerous bozo is rich, successful, and famous. The dangerous bozo dresses in all black. The dangerous bozo has a car from a manufacturer that ends in I, like Maserati, Lamborghini, or Ferrari. Okay? Beware of people who own a lot of things that end in I, other than Audi. And this bozo also has Kate Spade and Prada and all the good stuff. Plays golf, Ritz-Carlton, all the good stuff. Rolex watch, all the good stuff. This is the dangerous bozo. Because you look at this bozo, you say, rich and famous must parse to smart. The problem is rich and famous parses to lucky, not smart. And so bozosity is just like the flu. Bozosity is just like the flu. In order to prevent really bad flu, what do? You get a shot. The shot introduces into your body a little bit of flu so that when you encounter big flu, your body has already built up the resistance. I need to tell you some examples of bozosity, so that when you encounter bozosity in your careers, you have already built up the resistance. So one piece of bozosity is that in 1943, the chairman of IBM, Thomas Watson, predicted that the world market for computers was 5. So I have 5 Macs in my house. I have all the computers he anticipated in the world. In 1876, Western Union said telephones had too many shortcomings to be a serious product for Western Union. They wrote off telephony in 1876. Now, maybe they were going to teach everybody the Morse code so they could have a telegraph in every house. How hard could that be, right? But they wrote off telephony. That's why Western Union isn't PayPal today. It's very hard to go from telegraph to internet if you write off telephone in the middle. Ken Olsen once said there's no reason why anyone would want a computer in their home. Ken Olsen was the founder of DEC. He was so successful in the personal computer curve, he could not embrace, he was so successful in the mini computer curve, he could not embrace the personal computer curve. And my last example of Bozosity is about 15 years ago, Mike Moritz of Sequoia asked me if I wanted to interview for the CEO position of Yahoo. And I told him that it was too far to drive because I was living in San Francisco with my wife and we had one child and we had a second child in beta. I.e. she was pregnant. And I also looked at what Yahoo was, which was nothing more than a directory of websites, and I said, you know, Mike, what's the proven management team? These two guys went to Stanford and worked in the bookstore? What's the proven business model? They're going to sell ads to ARPANET scientists? What's the proven technology? They just created a directory. There's no defensible, patent-pending, curve-jumping, Nobel Prize-winning technology. So I turned down the opportunity to interview for the CEO of Yahoo. Now, let's suppose I wasn't so stupid. Let's suppose that I did take the interview. I would have gotten the job, okay? And back then, 15 years ago, as the first CEO of Yahoo, I would have gotten 10% of Yahoo because I would have been the first adult at Yahoo. And the option strike price would have been 10 cents. So I would have had 10% of Yahoo at 10 cents a share. I would have exercised 4 years later after vested at $2,000 a share. I made $1,999.99. Excuse me, $1,999.90 per share, give or take. Right? So, I've been thinking about this for about 15 years now. Because when you make a mistake of this magnitude, you tend to obsess about it. So, let me tell you what really would have happened. So I would have gotten 10% of Yahoo, 4-year vesting period. 2 years into the vesting period, they would have said, you know, guy, we need someone who can take Yahoo to the next level. Someone who can stand toe-to-toe with Steve Jobs, Steve Ballmer, Bill Gates, Rupert Murdoch, you know, Barry Diller, Michael Ovitz, all the big hitters. So we're going to replace you as the CEO of Yahoo. And I would have said, you know what? Fine. I'll tell you something though. I'm Japanese American. As a Japanese American, I'm an oppressed minority. You cannot fire me. You cannot fire me. Right? We're still upset about World War II because you interned all of us. Now you think you're going to fire me? I don't think so. Tomorrow there will be a what are you guys looking at? Tomorrow there will be a wrongful termination law. I thought I was funny. It's this that's funny. Tomorrow there will be a wrongful termination lawsuit. Tomorrow at noon, turn your TV on to CNN because there will be 60 old Japanese ladies protesting in front of Yahoo's headquarters. And so they would have said, well, what will make you go away quietly? Because venture capitalists believe they can buy themselves out of any problem. And I would have said, just fully vest me. So by my calculation, that response, my act of Bozosity, cost me roughly $2 billion. If I had not done that, believe me, I would not be in this dark nightclub here right now. Right? And I wouldn't be thinking, boy, I'm so lucky to get the free helmet lock and the t-shirt. You know? Because if I had $2 billion, I'd have my people bike for me. So, the point is, you cannot let the bozos grind you down. And I wish I could tell you when bozos tell you you can't succeed, it won't succeed, it's not necessary. I wish I could tell you that means you'll succeed. It doesn't work like that. But I'll tell you what, if you listen to those bozos and don't even try, you will never know. And that's truly a loss. And those are my top 10 tips for entrepreneurship. Thank you very much.